Hello everybody and welcome. Today I'm using StreamYard for the first time, so it'll be an interesting experience to see how I go with this. Today I want to talk about the Zinzino test results, and I thought I'd share with you my results from when I first started in 2020 and the journey that I've been on in terms of getting my health back to normal. So just a little bit of a background. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and that's what got me prompted on a journey to find out what I can do to support my health and keep it as good as possible. And I came across Zinzino way back in 2020, and I just love sharing how that journey's been for me and how it can also help people that are interested in their health journey. So it all starts with the balance test, which comes in a really nice little box that you can see. And it's a very simple little test. You just a dry spot blood test. You can do that in the comfort of your home. We send it off to be independently analysed, and I'll share with you my results from my first test and then 120 days later when we test the second time. So I did my very first test back in, I did my very first test back in 2020, and I came back unbalanced. 97% of the population is unbalanced. So I was actually quite surprised because at the time I was in clinical drug-free remission from rheumatoid arthritis. So I was really curious to see what was going on inside of me. And when I came back unbalanced, I got the shock of my life, to be quite honest. And what this means is my omega-6 to 3 ratio is out of balance. I've got too much inflammation in my system. And the protection value is all about the immune system, and if you do have any protection at all. So I had no protection whatsoever. I knew I wouldn't have enough omega-3 because I don't eat enough fatty fish. And then the mental strength is all about brain fog. We're meant to be about 1 to 1, and here I'm 3.6 to 1. So my brain fog was substantially high, and the cell membrane fluidity is really quite important. So every single cell in our body that makes up our entire body has a wall around it, and that wall is called the cell membrane. And the more omega-6 we have in our system, the harder that membrane is. So here, my cell membrane fluidity was 14.3 to 1. So that was very hard. Back then, I didn't really understand what these test results meant. So through my own learning, the harder the cell membrane is, the worse off it is for us, basically. So the cell membrane is meant to be soft so it can absorb the nutrition we put into our body and, most importantly, expel the oxidative stress, which is a cellular waste from the cells. And my cell membrane was quite hard, so it wasn't absorbing as much nutrition as what the cells could be. And here we have the arachidonic acid. That's responsible for the immune system kicking in for when we get a virus or a bacteria or cut ourselves. So the first half of the immune system goes in to get rid of what should not be in the body. Then the second half kicks in and that does the cleanup. And then we either start to get well, or if we've got it cut, the scab is forming and we start to heal. So it's really important that we're in balance. The arachidonic acid is in balance so our immune system can function optimally. So that was my first test. I got a really big surprise. And then we take the balance oil, which it's the most bioavailable omega-3 that's on the market. So why we're different to the others is we put in the polyphenols. So that is the chaperone that takes the molecules to the cells so the cells can be absorbed. So if you think of the fish swimming in the ocean, they eat the algae, and the algae has the polyphenols. When the fish is harvested from the ocean, we have to get out all the mercury and all the other stuff that shouldn't be in the fish. So during the process, the polyphenols is extracted from the fish. So all those omegas out there on the shelf, they either don't work because they're rancid, or they might be encapsulated in vitamin E. That then becomes toxic once it hits the system, and the omega doesn't get anywhere. So those products on the shelf, they simply don't work, and we have the test that can show that. And why ours works is because we put the polyphenols back in. So we're more of a product that's like oily fish rather than fish oil. We also put in vitamin D. So that helps boost the immune system. We've got the product that carries the omega molecules to the cells to be absorbed, and we've got the vitamin D to boost the immune system. Then we test after 120 days, which is the cycle of a red blood cell. So every single day that we are taking our dose of balance oil, the cells are becoming that little bit more saturated in omega-3, and it starts to counterbalance the higher levels of omega-6. So then in 120 days, I did my second test, and I came back, it returned at 1.8 to 1, which was great. We want to be between 1.4 and 1 to 1. The closer to 1 to 1, the better, because that means our DNA is replicating in a healthy way. And anywhere between 1.4 and 1 to 1, our cells are replicating in a healthy way as well, which is what we want, because we want a healthy body so we can live a great life. So I was really quite happy with the way I was going. And just last year, I didn't take my balance oil every single day. There were a lot of external factors going on. And then I did a cleanse diet at the end of last year. So what we've come to know is that people that are on vegetarian and vegan diets always return higher levels than people that eat everything. So I had become basically vegan when I did this 21-day cleanse diet. And also I just felt really good. So I thought I'd stick to it. And then I decided, right, it's time to get back on the balance oil. So I knew that my results were going to be high because I had been on a vegan vegetarian diet, and I also know that the tests return higher. So I got the absolute shock of my life when I got my current results back. So I came back at 18 to 1, which is twice as much as the first test. The things that, well, again, I've got absolutely no immune protection, which is very concerning. And the omega-6 is elevated, is unbalanced, which I knew it would be. And my mental strength is slightly better than what it was the first time, but marginally. And my cell membrane fluidity is slightly better, but it's still hard, and that needs to come back to getting into the green zone. And the arachidonic acid is elevated, which is concerning because I do have an autoimmune condition and I want to keep that under control and in the green zone. So I really did get a very big surprise when those test results came back. So what we do is when the results come back, they come back in a PDF, and it's a very comprehensive PDF. So we'll just go through this couple of slides here. So as you can see, I have no protection for my cells. The omega-3 is insufficient. My mental strength is moderate. The cell membrane fluidity is unbalanced, so my cells are a bit hard, and the arachidonic acid is elevated. So as you can see on the scale, this is where I'm sitting in terms of 18 to 1. And then, so you've got the visual of where we sit. Here's my omega-3. So as you can see, there is just insufficient. My mental strength's here. So it's getting a bit high. And the cell membrane fluidity is in the red zone. And as you can see, the arachidonic acid is heading towards the red zone, which is not where I want to be. I need to go the other way into the green zone. And then this is the overall breakdown of the 11 essential fatty acid chains. So that's a very in-depth report, which I go through thoroughly with whoever gets their test results. So I won't go through with that today. I will just give you an idea. And then through the rest of the PDF, we have lots of information to learn about how we calculate the results, what foods create what part of the essential fatty acid chain, and what you can do to improve your diet. So it's jam-packed full of really valuable information. So what we need to do once we've got our results is to get ourselves back into balance. And how do we simply take balance oil, which comes in a number of different. We've got the standard balance oil, which is, this is the lemon flavored one. So it's a standard balance oil, and it's weight dose. So we give you the correct weight. We give you the correct weight dosage so you can get your system back into balance even faster. And then if you've got some problems, like maybe you might have had you might have had some kind of weight loss surgery perhaps, or you've got a problem with your liver, gallbladder, or any of the organs that might be a bit sensitive to the stronger oil, we've got another version which is called Aqua X, and that's got an emulsifier in it. So you can just put that directly, so put it into water and it dissolves into water and you can drink it down, which is great for kids as well. And it just means that it's going to absorb faster into the cells. And then we have, for the vegan and vegetarians, we have got a vegan and vegetarian version, which is made directly from the algae. And that's awesome for those people who have got the vegan and vegetarian lifestyle, because it's absolutely imperative that we supplement. It's the only way that we're going to get our 6:3 ratio into balance. It's just impossible to eat enough omega-3. But I'll save that for another day. And then for people who don't like the liquid version, we have got capsules. So we've got capsules. So we've got something for everybody. And I just wanted to share my results with you because I get on and I talk about Zinzino quite a lot and share different articles and videos and bits of information. But today I thought I'd share my results with you. And if you're thinking about having a balance test done to find out what's going inside, I highly recommend it. Our 11 essential fatty acid chain is essential. It's the building block of all our cells. So how do we know if we are in balance? The only way to know is to do the balance test. So I'm eternally grateful that I came across this. I know that I'm doing the best I can for my body and my cells. That's why I love sharing the information, because doing a test tells you exactly what's going on inside. You just don't know unless you do the test. And we physically cannot eat enough omega-3 to balance the omega-6. And we live in a day and age where omega-6 is way higher than it has ever been in, like it was 100 years ago. But anyway, that's where I'm going to end today. So thank you for joining me on my first StreamYard recording, and feel free to reach out to me if I can help you. Thanks for watching.